So since my last video that I posted yesterday about why I don't want to work a dev job, there are a lot of comments that were like, Josh, don't take it personal, it's just business. You know that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean where they're like, it's just good business. I get it. I understand that it's business now, but I think a lot of us growing up don't understand that. We all hear the word and the phrase, it's just business, don't take it personal. We see it in movies, we see it in TV, but when it happens to you after you've invested yourself somewhere, it doesn't feel like it's just business. And I think one of the main reasons this happens is because a lot of these companies have what's called a company family. It's a psychological tactic for a company or a business to make you feel like they're invested in you and that you're kind of like loyal to them and that you owe them something, and we're welcoming you into our family. So happy to have you, but at the same time, they will snap their fingers and you'll be gone. And so a company family really only works one way. It's more of like if the head of the household was like this narcissist and he held all control and you can only do what I say, when I say it, how I say it, or else you're out of the family type deal, which doesn't really feel like family. Let me read you an email that I got when I got a job offer. The email was welcoming me to a company family. Yeah, I'll read you what it says. Good morning, Josh. I'd like to welcome you to the company family. You're in good hands with Matt and the rest of the dev team. We've got quite a mission ahead of us, and you'll play an important role in helping us move forward. I look forward to meeting you in the near future. I didn't think much about it at the time. I just thought it was a really welcoming message. When we grow up and we're in school and we're kind of like told that like, oh, you'll get a good job, your company will take care of you, you'll have nice, safe benefits. They will take care of you as long as you take care of them. And that's kind of like what we all believe. The people in the comments, maybe you had experiences earlier than us, but I'd say the majority of people, we don't know any better. We expect to get a job, we expect to work there for 40 years until we retire. It can be hard to accept it's just business if you're not aware of that being a thing. You hear it, but it doesn't ring true until it happens to you, and then you're on the other end of the deal. You know, you got the short straw. Then you're like, oh, that's what they mean. But at the same time, you're like, I invested years of my life into this. And as much as you want to feel like you're indebted to them for giving you this great opportunity, the loyalty usually only goes one way. Now, I know there are some companies out there because every time I say something, everyone's like, well, hold on a minute, Josh. I happen to know a company that's different. There's always an exception to the rule. There are some companies out there that really want to take care of their people, and those are usually smaller companies, or if you have like a cool boss that wants to take care of you and he'll like pull some strings for you, or he'll take a hit for you. There are some cool people out there in the world that want to work with you and help you out. But there are a lot of other people who are just like, hey man, we appreciate you, welcome aboard, happy to have you, and then they snap their fingers like you were never there. They just do the old Thanos snap. It doesn't go both ways in terms of loyalty. It may sound like it does, and it may appear like it does, but it doesn't. Another thing that I want to talk about with the company family is coworkers. They're not always your friends. You know, there are some teams that work really great together that are all on the same page, you know, that are all like an actual good culture fit. And there are some coworkers who just pretend to be a culture fit because they want a job and they don't really have any other options for other jobs. So they're like, yeah, oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, love talking sports. Yeah, love talking about homebrew and beer and the new Nintendo Switch games that come out. And oh yeah, I love talking about everything that I don't actually love talking about because this is the only place that's giving me an offer right now. And that was me in some places. And then some other places I thought that I was being authentic and the other people weren't being authentic. I've never really found a place where we could all just be ourselves. We were all pretending in some way or another so that we could just get along. And sometimes you just have to get along just to get things done. I understand. Companies promote this forced social interaction, and if you don't partake in it, you're not a team player. You know, you don't look like you want to be there. And it's like, look, man, I understand that you want to do these team events and you want to promote team building and team growth so we can work closely together, but I don't want to do that. Doesn't mean that you're antisocial. It just means forced social interaction is not organic. It's like going on like a first date, I guess. It's really awkward at first, and if things go good, then it gets better and it gets more natural. But I found in the workplace, that doesn't usually work like that. It just ends up being awkward the entire time. One of the team building exercises that I had was we had spaghetti noodles, marshmallows, and like a little bit of string. And it was whoever could build the highest spaghetti noodle tower without them breaking that would win. And I think we won like in-store credit, some company like internal system that we could like buy stuff with on points. Like, what? But we had to build a tower. Like, is this kindergarten? Is this first grade, second grade? Like, what are we doing? I'm over here just wanting to eat the marshmallows. I don't want to build the tower. I just want to eat the marshmallows and go do my thing. The whole time I'm there, I'm like, does this actually help us get to know anyone better? Usually they like let you vote or something. I've seen that sometimes. You'll have these department outings where your whole department will go, and technically it's optional. You don't have to go. It'll be on lunch, right? So it'll be during your hour that's unpaid. It's optional technically. But if you don't go, you know what that looks like. You're, again, not a team player. Doesn't mean I'm not a team player. It just means I don't want to go do this activity with you guys. If you don't go, you know that any chance for your promotion or any chance to climb that ladder is going to be reduced. And so you end up going out of irritation, annoyance, and you're like, yeah, I have to be here. And everyone can see that on your face. Everyone's like, yeah, he doesn't really want to be here. What's wrong with you, man? And you're just like, go team. It just perpetuates this sense of fake, and it's easy to see that, but no one ever wants to mention it, right? The friends that you have at work, you might go grab a beer with after work, see a company movie with them, but if you didn't have to talk to them, if you didn't have to message them knowing that you're gonna see them or have to interact with them at some form, you usually don't interact with them. Well, at least I've only had that happen once, and every time they fade away. Your coworkers are those friends that you had when you were in school and you were on summer break and you saw them at the store and you were walking past and you're like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in forever, and then the other person's like, oh my god, how are you? And you pretend to talk to each other. Oh my god, we should hang out sometime. And then you never talk to them again. You're like, well, no, I don't want to hang out with that person, but you both pretend like you do. That's what coworkers are. If you want to know what I'm talking about, or you're not in the industry yet, go to an escape room. An escape room is, you're in a room, you have to find the key, you have to flip stuff over, find the clues to whatever to get the code to the door to get out. And there will be some guy there that takes the lead. And he'll be like, no, that can't be correct. We have to do it this way, because this way and this thing over here, they match up, and it just has to be the way. And so, like, your input just doesn't even matter. And there's this guy, like, putting off this alpha male, like, no. Look, man, I appreciate what you're doing, and that's a great idea, but here's what we're gonna do. The same thing happens at work with your coworkers. And then everyone else is just, like, try to, like, rattle you and get everyone excited and stuff, and they're like, all right, everybody, let's get going. And you're just like, woohoo. Everyone feels like they have to do it. When you're part of the company family, it's a little bit like Stockholm Syndrome. You feel guilty for being able to do things that you would be able to do in your regular life. You feel bad because they let you go on vacation when you requested it. I've had people tell me, I'm so grateful for my company for letting me go on vacation when I requested it. Really? Really? You were asked to do something and they said yes. And so you're like, oh, wow, I feel so great at being part of this company. Like, they really honor what I want. And I know in some companies you have to have team members there to do the job, or if everyone leaves at the same time. Yeah, I get that. Okay, people in the comments, I get there's always an exception to this. Like, people just, yeah, my boss lets me be on my phone at work. He doesn't care. Good, he shouldn't care. Why would he care? Yeah, my boss, he doesn't care if I have, like, YouTube up or Netflix up. I can just do whatever I want. Well, good, that's what you should be able to do. You shouldn't feel indebted like this is some amazing company for being able to do what you should be able to do. You're supposed to be grateful for the opportunity to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and how much you're worth for doing it. You could be grateful for the opportunity to have this work environment so you could pay your bills and so that you can learn these new skills. They own you, and you hate it at first, but then you start to, like, love them, and you start to feel indebted to them, and then you feel like you can't leave and you feel trapped, and then you start defending your company because you don't understand what you're in anymore because you've been in it so long. And you can see this in the comments with all the haters that are like, no, that's not true, man, you're wrong. People defending their crappy companies and how, like, well, you shouldn't be on your phone anyways. Like, they'll be defending it, and it's crazy to me because it's like, was there never a time you were like, this is crazy, but you just accepted it because you had no other options? We own you, but we love you, but we own you. So if you don't do what we say, we'll take it away. Another thing with company families are kind of like this imposed sense of reverence that you have to have for the executives there because they started it, right? They started it, so you're under them and you should respect them like they're some sort of wizard or something. And like, let me give you an example. At my last job was cool, VP was cool, but like there were some weird dynamics that went on. They would buy lunch every other Friday and everyone would go to the conference room and sit and eat. Except for the CEO. He would purposely distance himself and continue working in his office because he keeps that distance. He wants that distance. He wants that sense of reverence. He wants to kind of like, oh, he's the CEO, like this is his room and his space and he sees everything because he was in an office that had like glass walls and stuff. You could see the look of like resentment. Oh, just another lunch to keep him happy. Well, I'm just gonna keep doing my work for my company. I could see that. It was pretty obvious. Everyone else would be having a good old time playing board games and hanging out and like maybe, I don't know, but I usually would just sit at my desk and continue working because I could see that he like resented the people that he had to buy lunch for that he didn't even want to partake in. Oh wow, look, Mr. CEO is providing lunch for us again. No one would ever go talk to him like one-on-one. He could only come to you, but you couldn't go to him. It's like they're the elders of the tribe, and it's almost like Voldemort and Harry Potter, you know, you just can't talk about them and unless they, you know, that's bad, we can't name that. Even the thought of being able to go talk to the executives that gave you this precious life-changing opportunity to make them a bunch of money, you know. In summary, the company family is just a way for them to make you feel welcomed. Making everyone feel welcomed makes no one feel welcomed, and it's just this big fakeness, I guess. You have to play along with it. Everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid, but no one's allowed to talk about when they had the Kool-Aid last. It's a little weird. It's like we're all doing it, but none of us are allowed to talk about it. And the same thing with all this corporate stuff that I talk about. It's like we all partake in it and we pretend to love it because we're all afraid to lose our jobs if we ever talk about anything else that might challenge the status quo. The last email that I got from the job that let me go, where I was like, I couldn't find a job for like 8 months. Let me read you that email. End of company's development efforts. He didn't have guts to tell us he was letting us all go. He just sent us an email. I understand your disappointment, and I want to express my gratitude for your efforts. This is not easy. It is the most difficult decision we have had to make in the company's history, but it is the right decision. It is the most difficult we have had. Who is we? You're the only one, but nice try to like add some kind of corporate shadow to yourself. We had to make. No, you made the decision, but it is the right decision. Maybe for you, not for us, but we didn't have a choice, right? While we cannot offer severance due to financial constraints, this dude was loaded, by the way, we are able to offer the items below. You have access to our in-house career services expertise. That didn't exist. That was just, please email this person your resume and she'll like tell you if it looks good or not. Upon your request, we will provide a letter of recommendation. You think I want a letter of recommendation from you? You think I need one? I'll just write one myself, okay? I'll recommend myself and just be you. I am proud that this team rallied to develop a great tool. I wish circumstances were different and we could have continued along this path together, but it is the right decision at this time. If you have additional questions, email me. I'll be like, you think any of us had any questions for him at this point in time? Just a few months ago, you know, 8 months earlier. Welcome to the family. We're so happy to have you. You're going to have a great role. And you know what? We developed the project was over, and my role in the company family was over. They don't tell you that up front. Don't fall for it, guys. Don't get bamboozled. Get in, get out, do your work, get the skills you need. Do you. Always. I'll see you guys in the next one.